might mention at some point thrift stores because it's such a great
Coming
place
back from a
to shop.
commercial break right now.
Tracy, the question is just simply, where's the best place to shop?
10 seconds to reader.
Credit issues? Not at Mike Anderson Chevrolet. Open today till 6 at 5333 West Irving Park Road, a mile west of the Kennedy. See MikeAndersonChicago.com.
Get a jump on holiday sales with Chicago Tribune. Sunday Chicago Tribune is loaded to the brim with sales notices and money-saving coupons, so you can save more with less this year. Pick up one wherever newspapers are sold.
Chicago Now Radio with Bill Leff. Chicago's WGN Radio 720.
This is Chicago Now Radio. I am Bill Leff. Surratt's not going to lie to you. He doesn't have it in him. Two studios and guests right now. Elliot Serrano, who writes Geek to Me, all things about being a geek in the city of Chicago, and In Fashion with Barbara Glass. Barbara, people are doing this thing now where they tweet in questions. Are you comfortable enough with that? Can I read you a tweet or two?
Absolutely, go for it.
There was a time where if a guy asked a woman if he could tweet her on the radio, that's it. His career was done. I'm glad we live in 2009. The simple question is this: where in Chicago is the best place to shop so you look your best?
Well, of course, there's so many trends happening for women in fashion this season. I mean, from leggings to skinny jeans to pencil skirts. So it really depends on what you're looking for. I always start at thrift stores. That's my favorite place to go because so much of fashion, as we know, is recycled. So if you're really smart, and that's for men and women both, because for men, you know, the jacket that's very popular is like a tuxedo jacket, only not worn head to toe. So guys, you know, go to those thrift stores. They're really great looking, and they were narrow. You know, it was that Frank Sinatra Rat Pack cut, which is so cool.
Yeah.
And that's all in fashion again. And for women, same thing. You know, even the boyfriend jacket. So it's a great place to go. I wouldn't say leggings. Leggings, I like to go to H&M, by the way. I think they do a good job.
Two of the things you just mentioned, Barbara, are such extremes. The skinny jeans, but the boyfriend clothes are big and baggy, but the skinny stuff, of course, thus the name, is really skinny. What's going on there?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that because fashion is really about mixing, juxtapositioning things. If you're wearing something big at the top, you want to wear something narrow at the bottom or vice versa. You don't want to wear all baggy. You're going to look like you're on the streets, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or all tight. You're going to look like you're also on the streets.
Yeah.
So it's important to mix it up and also to find your own signature, what works for you and what works for your body. But I would say the other place that I love, which just opened up, was Zara. And you mentioned a good thing in the break, you know, about coupons in the Tribune today. Look for coupons. Be a smart
They're
shopper.
everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Here's another question. Every time I watch anybody on TV who is from the world of fashion, they do this. Anytime there's a new season coming up, they always say, you know what's going to be in this year is blue. Blue is going to be in this year. Hasn't blue been in pretty much since BC times? The color blue is a constant. Why do people get so excited that it's going to be in this year?
You know, I have a hard time with that, Bill, because I think, you know, just like everything is the new black. Like black's going to go out of fashion. Like women are going to stop wearing black, or men for that matter. You know, the goth look is in major. A lot of black happening this season. But I always like to see a splash of color, you know, something that works and flatters you, not what the trends are all about. You know, that's, I hope we're past that. We want to look modern. We don't want to just look trendy head to toe with every trend that's happening.
That's the key. Here's how I bring you into this, Elliot. You just wrote a blog that I love about dressing like Peanuts characters. Now, I for years have had the Schroeder look. I will admit it to myself. I saw Schroeder in a Peanuts cartoon and I went, that guy dresses pretty cool. I think I'll dress that way. Now as an adult, I still pull off that look. What is it about the Peanuts? And as a side note, you just got to interview Charles Schulz's daughter, which is a great interview, and that's on your blog site as well.
Oh, yes. For first, of course, most everyone relates to the Peanuts character. So you're going to find folks who might see a particular character in the whole, in the pantheon of Peanuts, and they're going to say, this is me, this is the one I relate to most, I'm going to try to emulate them more. I was always I was Charlie Brown myself. Yeah. And I told Jill Schultz that I blamed Charlie Brown for my obsession with redheads. So
because he always liked that little red-haired
girl. The little redheaded girl, correct. So we're finding more and more, especially because these characters resonate with so many people, talking about fashion too, and geek fashion, that a lot of designers are even taking that into account. They're creating clothing lines that allow people to emulate those characters that they love. Mark Echo even has a line of you were talking about hoodies being getting very big. A line of pullover hoodies that look like you can dress as a Boba Fett or Chewbacca or any Star Wars characters.
Yeah.
Really very
it's kind
impressive
of a
stuff.
subliminal look. I mean, you really have to look very closely to realize the Star Wars influence in them, right?
Right.
Yeah,
I am so impressed that you guys are willing to talk about fashion. This is so cool.
Oh yeah, you put us together. That's what we're going to talk about. You say in your writings that you've been a Peanuts fan your whole life. What's one thing that you learned about Charles Schulz from his daughter that you didn't know before the interview?
There was, I guess, the whole thing that he really, or they decided that no one outside of Charles would ever write the Peanuts characters beyond him, for the purposes of the integrity of the material, and that they really struggle with adapting the material these days for the different films and television specials, because you have that line of who's going to, you only have so much original material that Charles did.
Sure.
When you have to adapt something, have someone write filler material to give segues between the different strips that they're stringing together for an animated special. That was really a kind of an eye-opener, because I asked Jill straight out,
how do you make this work?
How do you make it work?
It was written 35, 40 years ago. How do you make it click? But it does click.
It does resonate. It does resonate.
Well, I want to thank both of you, and to tie it all together, Barbara, Elliot's actually you're gonna hold up a football, and Elliot's gonna go to kick it, and you can tear it away until the very last second, just to tie all this together. Their blogs are. That was Elliot, by the way, who made that noise. Their blogs are Geek to Me. That's Elliot Serrano, and In Fashion with Barbara Glass. Thanks both of you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
By the way, WJ News Time 9:30. Here with that news is Steve Alexander.
Curiosity about the